Okay, so in this video, I'll be doing something a little bit different from what I usually do. So today I'm just going to be, we'll just be having a look at my ZSH configuration. English. I spent the past weekend actually going through my ZSH and configuring it properly. Because previously I was using my ZSH to do my stuff, but then I decided to remove it and just do it properly. So before I continue, I should probably explain what ZSH is for those who don't know. It is basically the better version of Bash. It is its own shell. It is its own shell, and it has a lot more features. There's a lot more hackable, a lot more configurable, and yeah, it just is a better experience. So this is not going to be a tutorial. I'm just going to be showing off some stuff I've set up that I just would like to show off. Everything I discuss in this video, it's in my .files. I'll put a link up to my .files in the description below. So yeah, let's get started. So as you can already see, I've got a syntax highlighting on, so whatever I type just is syntax highlighted by default. So I've got syntax highlighting for normal commands. There's a different highlight for built-ins like echo, and also stuff like, well, tmux is a command, but on my computer it's also an alias, and if you do by default, this comes by default, I didn't set this up, so if you do like Control X A, it expands that alias, which is quite cool. I've got VI mode set up, so I can Control U to just undo the last insert there. As you've probably already noticed, there's autocomplete menu, but you've probably seen other people use this as well. So you can autocomplete that way. You can see the theme I've got here. So if I I can auto CD, so I don't have to type in CD. I can just CD by typing in the name of my directory here. So whatever, yeah, auto CD. It's as it sounds. You can see my prompt over here is on 2 lines. So the first line has obviously the directory I'm on, and then the second line, the actual prompt. This is useful for very, I guess, deep directories where I don't like having the prompt in the middle ever, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So we've got that. For GitHub directories, we have the GitHub status, what branch I'm on, all the status symbols, if there's stuff to push, stash stuff, whatever. You know how it is. If I press Control L, it basically clears. It clears. So even if I'm typing, okay, if I echo some stuff, if I'm typing a command, I do Control L, it keeps the command there, which is quite nice. I've got Control H to, well, if I do that, I've got rationalize dot, I believe it's plugin, set up. So if I do dot and then dot again, it auto inserts the / dot, because that's usually what you want to do. And I can just hit dot to go up again. And obviously, there's a nice way to go up, to go back up the parent directories. I can also do Control H to achieve the same thing, to just go up one directory, actually. So if I go home, Control H, oh my goodness. I have to do it very fast. The reason that is my Control H is a bit buggy is I've got my caps lock both assigned to escape and control, so I have to be very quick about it, and I don't know, my fingers are not primed today. So that is that. I'm trying to think, what else do I have to I showed you the Git. The theme I'm using is Spaceship. It's a very configurable theme. I'll show you the files in a moment. Again, this is not much of a tutorial, just showing you the possibilities of what you can do. So I showed you the menu select as well. So the menu select can also, the completion, you can set it up to autocorrect. So there I was typing in, you saw FMF, P, you can do G, and then, well, depending on the length of the string, you can tweak how much it should autocorrect. So there's autocorrect. I showed you how to expand aliases. You can also do cool stuff. So like CD, if you want to do slash user, I think it's user share ZSH plugins. So you could type it all like that, or you could do slash CD slash U S Z P, and it auto expands it for you, but it stops at Z because there's multiple options for ZP, for like zone info pos IX, and there's multiple options. So that's just a taste of what you can do with completion. I'm sure I've got more stuff set up, and yeah. Okay. Now the VI mode I haven't been talking about much, but you can see here my cursor is a beam, but when I press escape, it goes to a block. That means I'm in normal mode now, and I can do normal mode things, change in a word, echo, blah, blah. I guess it's worth noting, Control W still works. Control W, for those of you who don't know, is a backwards kill word. I think that's correct. It just deletes the previous word you had. That's without VI mode, that's already enabled, as far as I know. So, we could do VI mode stuff here. I thought I had surroundings working, but assuming you had, no, surroundings don't work. But yeah, so you can do Vim stuff like changing the quotes, and it's just useful. Shift V enters visual mode, which makes it easier to do stuff like that. Or and U is undo, which I don't really use that much here. V in a quote. Visually, it's you can do a lot of Vim stuff. A lot of the stuff you do have to manually set up though, so keep that in mind. Also with the menu, yeah, I could set it up to use J and K to move between the options of the autocomplete menu, but I just have not set that up yet properly. What's a command that is very okay? Okay, something like this. Fight. Yeah, so using up and down, you can move up and down, but I want to set that to J and K. Just haven't set it yet. Okay, escape DD. There's also, I think I did show Control U. So if you type in Control U, that's like undo in Vim. Yeah, most of the Vim stuff you'd think is there. Okay, then there's you can set up like custom script. You can bind keys. Is it, what's the word? Unanimously, ambiguously, ubiquitous. Yeah, I think that, what I'm trying to go for. So I have so if you do pwd, right, that gives you the working directory that you're in. So in this case, user slash share ZSH plugins. You can also just echo the global variable pwd, and that gives you the process working directory, the same thing. So I have a script that does that for me. So more specifically, it will send this notification and also copy it to clipboard so that I can paste it wherever I need it. This helps in some scripts. Used it more than I thought I would. So I've got that script set up. And then I've binded that script to Control P. So if I do Control P, automatically does that for me, which is nice. And then we also have, so by default, without, I think this also works in Bash. So let's say I have nvim open and I'm typing, well, Vim anyways. I'm typing stuff. You can press Control Z to suspend the process. Okay. There's a video by Engineering Man where he explains jobs and background and foreground processes and suspending and killing and all that. I won't explain it here, but I've suspended nvim, and then you can do FG to bring it back to the foreground. So a common thing to do is just Control Z, and then with the specific binding, Control Z to automatically FG from there. So yeah, so you can just mash Control Z, Control Z. Sorry, I'm a bit sick today. So that's Control Z, but someone made a plugin called Fancy Control Z, which adds one more feature to the Control Z situation. And as you saw before I do that, when I envim and Control Z, you see a little moon here, which if I also send, say, I don't know, sleep 10 to the background, it shows how many background processes I have in the current shell, and this lock just says, I'm in a folder I can't edit because it's a pseudo folder. So this particular theme, Spaceship, allows you to do that, but I'm sure other themes allow you to as well. I just like that. So Control Z, Control Z. You could also, with Fancy Control Z, do something like echo, and then my name is, I don't know, let's say you're typing something but you forget, and it's a fringe use case, I understand, but you can Control Z to suspend that current command you were typing, and then do something else here. I don't know, Herbert. So A equals Herbert, and then you can actually, it goes back. I did that way too quick, didn't I? It went back to the, so if I'm typing, echo this, and I'm typing a command over here, and I realize I haven't set A, just Control Z, and then obviously do what I did before, just A equals Herbert, and then it brings back the previous command I was typing, which is pretty cool. And this can stack basically infinitely. You can just hit, so if I echo 1, Control Z, echo 2, Control Z, you can do this infinitely, and then it just goes back to the previous one each time, which is cool. Fringe use case. I don't use that as much as I thought I would, but it's nice having it there. What else can we show off? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, FZF. So if you have FZF is a fuzzy file finder. Whatever directory you're in, it will just show the stuff here, and you can fuzzy file find. So tests, I don't know, Zunit, fuzzy file finder. You can integrate FZF into ZSH with it shows, I can't remember exactly, but it shows you how to do it on the GitHub page. So some of the stuff it offers is, by default, ZSH does have a history, sort of a cool history searching interface where you can search through historic commands, but with FZF, it overwrites the control R mapping to FZF through history. So now I've got the whole history here, and I can fuzzy search through my old commands. When I hit enter, it pastes it on the command line, and then enter, which is, I use that. I used to use auto suggestions, the plugin, but now I don't use it because whenever I need a previous command, I just would rather Control R and get it with a fuzzy search. Then there's Control T, which if I hit, I don't know, tests, it pastes what it searches. It finds files and directories, and whatever you hit will just copy to the command line. I typically will usually just autocomplete if I know enough of the directory, and but it's there if you want. And then we have Alt C, which I remapped to Control O, which is so if I Control C, which Control O will look for a directory, and then it will automatically CD into that directory. So as you can see, we changed directory into wherever this is, Apple script resources. Is this Apple? So yeah, that's FZF integration. My configuration is not 100%, obviously. I'm still working on cleaning things up. Just this weekend I switched from, I just stopped using OMyZSH and started configuring stuff myself. So if I open up Ranger, which I'm going to stop using soon as well, You can see I've got my stuff. Actually, if I can find, okay, so I've got my ZSH stuff stored in if I can get my mouse, .config, .config/ZSH, and then all the files are in here. In order to get that working, what you need to do is let's Control Z. You need to, if I cd user share ZSH, yeah, it's ZSH. Then I must, one second, I'm trying to find, where did is it a hidden file? No, it's not, it's, sorry for this, etsy/ZSH, yeah. It's, yeah. So, in etsy/ZSH, in ZSH environment, I have this, which is not on my repo yet. I basically set z.directory to equal .config/ZSH. Excuse me. Today's not a good day for speaking. And this basically is what allows me to store everything in .config/ZSH. So keep that in mind. So I've got a Z profile. This is for the TTY. If you understand this, congrats, because I don't. I just, basically what it does is whenever I log in, because I don't have a login manager, from the TTY, it sources .profile, which in turn executes the startx command to start my graphic environment. If you know what that is, congrats. If you don't, sorry, I can't explain it myself. I just know that it works. And yeah, for most people, yeah. Anyways, ZSHRC, it's not very big. It is 24 lines in total. And Diopleet is complaining today. So, yeah, ZSH. So this is sort of like unimportant stuff. The most important thing is this last line of, well, this line over here, where I source for f in z.directory everything in the config folder, that being this folder, I source. So instead of keeping all of the small things, the edits, the plugin loading and everything in this file, I just source them all. I put them all in their own files. So say like the FZF configuration stuff is in its own file. So that's there. I think, yeah, the prompt. So the prompt being the spaceship theme I have, where I set, you know, the symbol I want, what the thing is for the background jobs, and you know, the colors, whatever. It's in this file. I think the biggest one I had was yeah, syntax highlighting. So syntax highlighting, you can change the theme of. I mentioned syntax highlighting, right? I hope I did. But if I didn't, I'm just going to restate. So like when I type in stuff, you can see syntax highlighting. I think it's been obvious from the beginning. But yeah, I think I did explain. Like you can expand aliases stuff with Control-XA. I think I did. Forgive my memory. But anyways, yeah, syntax highlighting. I changed a lot of colors specific to me. You could do a lot more, but this file alone was 80 lines, so it kind of motivated me to split everything up. But a cool little trick I'll show you guys. So most of you know what cat is. So if you cat a file, we all know to print, but you can cat files, and sort of it concatenates the files. So yeah, you can see it concatenated Z profile to ZSHRC. So what that means is we can cat ZSHRC with everything in configuration, and then save that to some temp.zsh file. Now if we open that temp file, now we have everything loaded in one file, and that is 300 lines long, which again, a reason why I split it up into separate files. So again, I'm not really going to explain much of all of this. For the yeah. So I'm just gonna quickly run through everything. Yeah. If you want to understand it, again, I don't understand everything completely. I might plan on making a series on ZSH in the future, but for now, I'm just gonna quickly run through everything. Yeah. This is what sort of starts the auto completion from that line, and then yeah, just some options. This, I think, like this, I don't understand. This was a copy paste. This is how you do case and sensitivity, and yeah, yeah. This is what is the what controls the, what is it? Autocorrect, basically. A lot of stuff. Yeah. This is colors and yeah. This is the fancy Control Z, but I modified it slightly because for some reason it wasn't working when I initially, when you, so with the plugins, if you just go and get up and search ZSH plugins, you'll find multiple repositories with a bunch of plugins. And again, ZSH comes with some default plugins installed. It's weird. But basically they're all just ZSH files, which you can just, if you have a setup like mine, just copy paste into into like a config directory and just source them by yourself without actually having to use a plugin manager or get pull anything. Just copy paste and it works. Auto completion. I don't know what this is about. I'm trying to think. Oh, this is FZF. Yes. Okay. Yeah, this is FZF stuff. This was actually just a copy paste of what it tells you to copy paste in order to make this work. This is this is just generic bindings. So yeah, I showed the Control H, which no, I didn't. I have bad memory today. So rationalize dot is a plugin as well. If you do dot dot, that goes up a directory. If you do dot dot and then dot again, it knows you want to go up. It automatically puts the slash and the extra dot for you for easy access going up the parent directory. I have that, and then I also have a mapping for Control H to go up a parent directory, which comes in handy. But I want to change it. I'm going to change it slightly because if you're typing a command and then you Control H, it breaks. So there's a better way to do this. Interactive commands. This is just some options. Auto CD. All this means is I can do stuff like echo, and type in whatever, and then have a command, a comment afterwards, without it breaking the shell. Disable Control S, Control Q. If you don't have this disabled, you can see what it does without it disabled. Spoiler, if you ever freezed your terminal accidentally by pressing it, the wrong buttons, it's probably one of these two. And then history, I saved the last 1 million commands I typed. Don't worry, in the process of setting this all up, I've been deleting the ZSH history file a lot. Basically, the file never gets all that big, so I don't mind having this many things saved. And then these are some options. So, notify. So if I come here and say sleep 11, right? What this plugin does is, so you can set a timeout. Whenever a command runs for longer than, in my case, 10 seconds, when it is done, it will send a notification up here saying that it's done. So this is useful for, like, when I'm rendering videos. In my case, I'll know when a video is done, and then I just go back and okay, cool. And you can see as well, the prompt is saying took 11 seconds. That's the theme as well. I showed this setting up spaceship. This was the Control P I have set up for getting the P, the working directory to my clipboard. So Control P, my script over there controls to clipboard, copies to clipboard. And then I think that's it. Dictionary, I'm still setting up. A lot of the stuff is still, I'm getting stuff set up. So take that for what you will. Again, these are all in separate files, not it would be messy to try and navigate this all if it was in one file, as you can see, even though I'm getting a bit lost here. And that's changing, and this is all the Vim stuff that you manually have to set up. This was working yesterday, the surrounding, but for some reason today it is not, it ain't working. I don't know why, but I could surround, use surround word, I could surround yesterday, it's not surrounding today. Yeah, I think that's it for this video. You can again just have a look at the, I've got everything organized enough that it should be readable. You should know what you want. You can just copy paste into your own ZSHRC, and if I can just, the main line you need is this to load the configs. It should be readable enough if you want to look into that. I might be making a series on ZSH, but I honestly would need to do a lot more research if I would want to contribute anything of worth. But anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow for the next Vim video. So bye bye.